Hello, my name is Sebastian, and I'm going to present my own presentation here about linguistic and communicative competence. Let's get started first with linguistic competence. Linguistic competence tells us that we inherently know the language without the use of grammar rules. How do we know this? Through the pronunciation, the lexical part, the grammatical part that is the grammatical part that tells us where and when and why is this happening, and the phraseological or the morphological one, which tells us what does the phrase mean in the first place. We know all of that without knowing grammar rules in general or more about the language. So basically, linguistic competence tells us it's very important to put in the competence and performance part. Competence is something that is inherent to us. That's why it's called linguistic competence. Performance, on the other hand, is what we can achieve through constant training or improvement or learning. This is and linguistic competence focus on our innate capacity, not our capacity to perform. It focuses on our potential. Examples of this are pronouncing words accurately, vegetable and comfortable. It's that's how it is pronounced. Or for example, this no smoke signal here. We know that it says, oh, it's prohibited here. But you can say you can't smoke here. You don't say you shouldn't smoke. Shouldn't smoke is more of an advice, while can is more like a you don't really need to do that. So native speakers understand that, and that's how they show linguistic competence. They don't really need to know why can't it's put here. They already know that that's how it's used in the first place. Now, further on, we're going to go with communicative competence. Communicative competence focuses more on how appropriate is our is our communication. While linguistic competence focus on how inherently know the phrases and the language itself. This one focuses more on communication. Sociolinguistic context, like for example, being in a meeting with your boss or being with your friends, you know what phrases to use and how you should approach them. So this is the innate and this focuses as the same as linguistic competence, the innate and potential capability. But instead of language, it focuses on our inference of communicating. What do we need to use? What words do we need to use? And social cues too. For example, you are not going to say, hey guys, or what's up in a meeting with your boss. You're going to say, good afternoon. It's a pleasure to see you all today, or welcome, and thank you for attending. You need to strive for using those words. Not, and on the other hand, the right picture, we see a group of friends. We can use, hi everyone, how's it going? Or look who finally showed up. It will be anti-natural to use good afternoon or it's a pleasure to meet you in this context. But a native knows that, and that's communicative competence. Their capacity or their intelligence to know when to use these phrases in different social situations. So, what is the importance of these two theories in EFL teaching? Linguistic competence builds a solid foundation of language knowledge. This means that it's good for low to low intermediate English starters. So we should strive for teaching that. And we can do that by using grammar explanations or gap fill control practices that can bolster their accuracy and avoid misunderstandings. This prepares them for the communicative competence. This is important because it works as a guideline, tells us what, where, and when to use the language. Okay? This in turn enables, that's why we need to focus on role play and discussion classes so that they can be able to use this in English real life conversations. So this is important at least. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation, and I hope you have a great day.